Blink and you'll miss a train, as Seoul dispatches a subway every 2 minutes, part of a system that carried 2.4 billion passengers last year. While those carriages glide below, 34,000 public Wi-Fi routers blanket the streets, and average 5G downloads top 1.1 gigabits per second. These aren't just tech bragging rights, they reflect Seoul's philosophy. Build systems that scale and use them to anchor everything from work to emergency response. Over 65% of daily trips in the Greater Seoul region happen on public transit, making rush hour feel oddly serene in a metro of 26 million. Compare that to Los Angeles, where fewer than 8% of commutes use transit. Beneath the pavement, flood tunnels the height of 5-story houses stand ready to swallow cloudbursts before they reach your doorstep. So how did a war-battered river valley turn into perhaps the planet's most meticulously engineered capital? Stay with us as we explore the overlooked details and brilliant decisions that explain why Seoul is incredibly well designed. Centuries before war scorched its rooftops, Seoul was already a city of deliberate lines and disciplined planning. In 1394, King Taizong moved the Joseon capital from Kaesong to Hanyang, selecting a mountain-framed basin for its ideal feng shui orientation. Within just 2 years, nearly 200,000 laborers raised an 18.6-kilometer-long stone wall that traced the surrounding ridges and sealed the city like a clasp. 8 monumental gates pierced the rampart, opening at dawn and locking at dusk to regulate commerce, enforce curfews, and secure the growing population. Constrained within that stone perimeter, early Seoul grew inward, stacking wooden homes beside royal palaces rather than sprawling outwards into farmland or forest. That logic of containment would re-emerge centuries later, after fire returned in the form of war. When North Korea invaded in 1950, Seoul became both prize and victim, changing hands 4 times in just 3 years. The bombings were relentless. Whole districts near the Han River were leveled. More than 190,000 buildings were obliterated, and key infrastructure collapsed. The Korean Armistice Agreement, signed on July 27, 1953, halted the fighting but did not bring peace. Seoul was left shredded. But the city refused to stay broken. Despite 55,000 homes lost across the country, refugees poured back into Seoul. By 1955, the population had surged to 1.5 million. But Seoul's geography left little room to breathe. Encircled by mountains, boxed in by the demilitarized zone to the north, and sliced in half by the Han River, there was no space for suburban drift. Expansion would have to go vertical. The urgency of geography led to Seoul's 1966 comprehensive plan, a citywide blueprint that transformed rugged terrain into an asset, not a barrier. Industrial zones were placed downstream to separate factories from homes. Terraced superblocks absorbed new residents, while axial roads pointed towards future bridge links. In 1971, Seoul drew a sharper boundary still, a legally protected green belt. Today it spans about 149 square kilometers and remains untouched, locking nearly a quarter of the city's land off limits to development. The only way forward was up. This imposed density created a virtuous cycle. High-rise apartment blocks concentrated enough people to sustain shops, schools, clinics, and public transit, all within walking distance. The more people used these services, the more viable they became, prompting further investment and upgrades. Density didn't just demand solutions, it funded them. By the late 1970s, per capita income had tripled, and Seoul earned its new nickname, the Miracle on the Han. Smart planning meant Seoul could grow fast, without falling apart. Compact layouts, transit corridors, and green buffers formed a system built for density. Government data from 1970 already logged 3 million residents, clear proof that smart urban design could handle tidal migration. And this was only the beginning. Seoul wasn't just rebuilding, it was reinventing what a modern city could be. Step onto any Seoul platform at dawn and you'll feel a controlled tidal force. 21 rail lines fold through the city and its satellites, stretching a mind-bending 940 kilometers in total. Those steel veins carry more than 8 million passenger trips daily. With stations stitched into nearly every neighborhood, even cross-town commutes rarely topped 74 minutes door-to-door, but capacity would crumble without seamless payments. In 2004, the city rewrote fare logic by rolling out the T-Money smart card. One tap unlocks buses, metros, and taxis, and the fare is calculated only on distance, not transfers. The reform slashed duplicate routes, color-coded buses into 4 simple families, and funneled riders cleanly toward the rails. Technology keeps it precise. Every bus streams GPS data to a central dashboard. Algorithms tweak headways minute by minute. Even payment data feeds design. Planners can see exactly where transfers spike and add direct shuttles within weeks, not years. You're never really waiting, only flowing. Still, rails and buses are only half the circuitry. Starting in 2021, the city began planting smart poles. Each pole merges lightning with 5G, surveillance, Wi-Fi, and pollution sensors. It's an evolution of Seoul's playbook. Make infrastructure do double duty, then tweak it in real time using real data. Speedtest's April 2025 index rates Seoul's median fixed broadband at 208 megabits down and 160 megabits up, ranking the city 32nd worldwide. That pipeline lets live subway maps, emergency alerts, and even parking space sensors sit comfortably on every phone. City Hall's open portal releases thousands of datasets, birthing apps that tell you the exact crowding level in the next train car or which cafeteria still has kimchi stew at 1 p.m. Digital design here is never for spectacle, it solves headaches. Residents barely notice the hardware, yet they feel the result. Fewer red lights, cleaner air, and Wi-Fi that seldom buffers. Still, a city must also feel good at walking speed, so let's leave the servers behind and descend to street level for a breath of river air. 2 decades ago, trucks rattled across a 6-lane flyover that strangled downtown Seoul. In 2003, crews swung cranes, peeled away concrete, and let daylight kiss a forgotten stream called Cheonggyecheon. By 2005, a 5.8-kilometer ribbon of water and boardwalk replaced 40 years of gridlock at a cost of about $380 million. Skeptics predicted apocalyptic traffic jams. Reality proved kinda. Rush hour speeds climbed as drivers shifted to the subway network built for them. The restored stream cools nearby blocks by up to 3 degrees and cuts small particle pollution by 12%. Wildlife came back within months. Dragonflies, herons, and yellow-bellied fish reappeared. The city doubled down, converting an abandoned highway ramp beside Seoul Station into Seoul 7017, an elevated walkway dotted with cafes. Weekend crowds there rival subway concourses, yet the streets below move better because pedestrian overpasses unclog intersections. At ground level, curb extensions and timed crossings give seniors an extra 4 seconds to cross arterials, and bike lanes now line both banks of the Han River. Every redesign follows one simple rule: people first, cars if space remains. Community art, night markets, and K-pop pop-ups keep footpaths alive after office towers go dark. The lesson runs deeper than landscaping. Remove asphalt, and life flows in to fill the void. But a booming public realm needs somewhere for residents to sleep. So let's get upstairs to the sky cities that millions call home. From above, Seoul reveals its strategy: climb upward to make space below. These high-rises don't just house people, they make the entire city function better. Nationwide, apartments 5 stories or higher make up roughly 62.9% of all homes. And the concentration is even greater inside the capital. The logic is ruthless but effective. Pile residents vertically, dedicate the reclaimed ground to playgrounds, clinics, and convenience stores, then thread a subway entrance through the center. A typical complex contains a kindergarten, a grocery store, and a fitness center within a 5-minute stroll, turning an address into a microcity for residents. Management fees cover security and renovation, so elevators work and facades age evenly. Critics see monotony. Designers see a modular canvas hiding quiet breakthroughs. Flood-prone sub-basement flats became global news after the film Parasite. Since 2024, City Hall offers grants of up to 3.2 million won to raise ceilings, install pumps, or relocate tenants. Demand keeps prices high, yet the supply machine is relentless. Cranes assemble modular sections off-site, delivering a finished 20-story block in 90 days during peak season. High density also means high eyes. Rooftop cameras spot unauthorized diesel generators and order shutdowns within hours. By turning vertical living into a predictable product, Seoul frees surface land for parks and transit. And those parks matter, because concrete islands need green lungs. Walk 10 minutes in any direction in Seoul and you'll find a hill trail, a riverside park, or steps climbing past cherry trees. That's no accident. A 149 square kilometer green belt from 1971 still surrounds the city, stopping sprawl at its edge. Inside the ring, nature is layered. Bukhasan National Park guards the north. Namsan Forest sits just minutes from City Hall. Along the Han River, a chain of parks stretches across the city, from Banpo's Rainbow Fountain to Uido's cherry-lined paths, linked by bike lanes lit at night. These parks lower summer temperatures by about 2 degrees. Even small spaces matter. New residential projects are required to serve 10% of their footprint for public or green space. Since 2022, rooftops over 2,000 square meters must have green mats to soak up rain and support insects. Sensors in drains warn the city to open upstream floodgates before garages flood. This plan works. Air pollution has dropped 30% since 2005. Night markets fill the parks. Outdoor gyms turn jogs into meetups. Fireflies even came back last year. Autumn hikers swap fortress trail photos in chat groups. Seoul's design isn't just pretty, it's smart. Homes, transport, tech, and nature all support each other. Whether it can outpace the climate crisis remains to be seen, but few cities have shown this level of adaptability before. Which part of Seoul's design struck you the most? Was it the green belt, the subway, or something hidden in plain sight? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this dive into urban brilliance, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's next.